Welcome back to Clueless College Kids, where we go around campus and inform students about common health topics. I am Jeanette, and in today's segment, we will cover just how uninformed students are about the herpes simplex virus. Let's see how they become informed through doing some research. Hey, can I borrow that?
Yeah, here you go.
Hey, stop! That's not sanitary.
Why?
Bacteria and viruses are easily spread through sharing personal items. Herpes is one of the most common and incurable diseases across the world. Most people assume there is one type of herpes strand, really there are two. HSV1 is typically associated with oral herpes, and HSV2 is generally associated with genital herpes. Both strains can go undiagnosed because a virus can stay dormant for a very long time. Many other factors can cause an outbreak, such as stress, menstruation, and illness. This is why it is important to take preventative action to ensure that you don't contract them.
According to the World Health Organization in 2012, an estimated 3.7 billion people under the age of 50 had the HSV1 infection. HSV1 is transmitted orally, so they are commonly spread through and around the mouth and the face, but a small portion of HSV1 infections are genital herpes in the genital or anal area. Most HSV1 infections are acquired during childhood, and the infection is lifelong.
Well, what about the second one you mentioned, HSV2?
Yeah, here it is, HSV2. It is almost exclusively transmitted sexually, causing the genital herpes. Approximately 417 million people ages 15 to 49 worldwide in 2012 were infected by this strain of the virus. This infection is shown to increase with age since it is spread through sexual activity.
That's crazy. So how do we know if we have this virus?
Well, for both strains, the symptoms are very similar. The symptoms include painful blisters or open sores called ulcers. The infected person will often experience tingling, itching, burning sensations, before the appearance of the actual sores, but still, with the HSV2 infection, there are often no symptoms, or there are very mild symptoms that go unrecognized. Recurring symptoms are often less severe, and the frequency of outbreaks tend to decrease over time.
So how do we know we've been infected if we don't have any symptoms?
Oh, the thing about herpes is that the virus is still present on the skin even if there are no sores or blisters seen. After someone is first infected, the virus stays in the body, traveling through the nerve cells to the base of the spine. Once the virus is at the base of the spine, it stays there laying dormant, hiding from the immune system in the cell bodies of neurons until something triggers it, making it become active again. Once it becomes active, the virus travels along the nerve cells back to where it first entered the body, causing an outbreak of sores and blisters. However, you cannot get herpes from toilet seats, bedding, towels, or soap.
How is herpes able to stay in the body?
The herpes virus DNA is much more complicated than any other infections or viruses' DNA because it is able to hide from our immune system. Herpes is a double-stranded DNA virus with large complex genomes that replicate in the nucleus. Because replication occurs in the nucleus, the herpes virus uses its host transcription machinery and DNA repair enzymes to support large genomes with complex arrays of genes.
Well, what happens if you're worried about getting herpes?
Well, unfortunately, there's still no cure for herpes. If you're worried about getting herpes, the best thing to do is be informed about how each type is contracted. If someone you know has oral herpes, the best way to prevent contracting herpes from them is to avoid physical contact with their throat, lips, mouth, saliva, or any other part of their skin where a sore appears. It's also a good idea to avoid sharing straws and chapstick.
What about genital herpes?
The only surefire way to prevent contracting genital herpes is abstinence. However, most healthcare professionals just recommend being safe and informed when you're intimate with someone. However, be aware that if you're a person that you're intimate with has genital herpes, condoms and dental dams still might not cover all areas where sores can occur.
So, if you or your partner does have HSV1 or 2, what else can you do?
You can talk to your doctors about getting a prescription for antiviral drugs that reduce the length and pain associated with outbreaks, as well as prevent future ones. These drugs inhibit the herpes viral DNA polymerase and effectively terminate the viral DNA chain being replicated. These medications treat both oral and genital herpes and can be taken daily as part of a suppressive approach or at the outset of symptoms as an episodic approach to treatment.
Herpes continues to be studied, and scientists are creating more efficient medication to treat its symptoms. However, there is still no cure for it. The best remedy is to be well informed about the virus and take preventative measures. If you are someone with herpes, it is important to not share your personal belongings with others. You should also be honest with your sexual partners so that you can take precautions to avoid transmitting the disease to them. Those who do not have herpes should also take similar action because the virus can be dormant for long periods of times. It is not always easy for your sexual partners or even your friends who is borrowing your chapstick to know that they have herpes.